Hello, welcome to week 6, video 6 of the 12-week guide, the videos that you're going to be getting alongside the 12-week guide. This video and this topic is proper recovery to improve performance. And this is only something that I've within the last year have started to take really, really seriously, and it's made such a difference, which of course it would, because whenever you recover better, you move better, you perform better. It's really basic common sense, but something that's actually really hard to implement into your plan, and something that not a lot of people are brought up with. We're kind of brought up with that intention of whenever you rest, you that's rest is for the weak. That's what I got whenever I first started my fitness journey. But thankfully I feel like we're really in the era of recovery and proper recovery. So um why is recovery important? So we have the first one, which is the most obvious and the most important one, is injury prevention. Obviously, the better you recover, however that is, the less likely it is that you will get injured during training. Improves movement in the gym, improves performance, like I said, is essential for progress, and improves mobility of muscles and flexibility. So now I am going to go over a couple of examples of ways that you can recover and reset and just ensure that you're actually giving your body the best chance to perform its best. So the first one is rest days, and this is something that everyone needs to do. They're so essential for recovery. And whenever I'm doing any type of plan for anyone, like a client, and I'm laying out their plan, I always make sure that they're taking an intentional rest day or two. That need to be taken as seriously as your training days, because whenever you're resting, whenever you're having a rest day, and whenever you're sleeping, whenever you're completely at rest, that's whenever your body makes the most progress. Because that's why rest days are so important. Whenever you have a training block that is quite intense, like this 12-week guide, you're kind of pushing your body in new ways. That having rest days is really essential to make sure that you're actually properly recovering, so that you can go into the next training session replenished a wee bit and you're not as sore as you were. Next one is pre and post session recovery. So what I mean by this is stretching before and after a session, just to ensure that you're preparing your body for the movement, and then after, whenever you're recovering the muscles from the movement. Mobility and foam rolling before a session, and then static stretching post session. Now, this is something that I've started to take a lot more seriously, particularly before a session, doing a lot of mobility work around my glutes, hamstrings, lower back, and as well as my shoulder mobility, just because those are the kind of areas that I find get really tight whenever I'm training, and just making sure that they're all nice and loose and nimble. And what mobility does is that it just kind of acts as, I hate the word, but it acts as a lubricant to your joints and your muscles, just to make them a wee bit more movable and flexible before you go into your main session. And I can't even comprehend going into a session without doing some sort of mobility work, because I actually think I would snap in half. And as well as after a session, just doing some 5 minutes stretching out the muscles, because whenever you work out, obviously your muscles create a lot of tension. So whenever they're not stretched out, if you constantly think they're very, very tight after a workout, and if you don't stretch them out, they're going to constantly feel tight. So you're going to wake up in the morning feeling quite tight, sore, DOMs are going to be bad and stuff like that. So pre and post session stretching is so, so important. Next one is contrast therapy. My least favorite, if I'm being honest with you, and probably the most bougiest one. Now, I am lucky enough that in my gym I do have this type of facility where I have a sauna and cold plunge. But honestly, it's not completely necessarily for the best recovery. It's just basically if you have it, and if you have them in separate kind of areas. So if you have access to a sauna, you just use a sauna after your session. If you like access to an ice bath or a beach or a body of water that you could kind of cold plunge in safely, obviously, and that would still be good. But contrast therapy is basically where you start in the sauna to kind of warm up your muscles, make them a wee bit more flexible and movable, and then you jump into an ice bath or a cold water tub to draw the blood to your muscles, so it's to recover them, basically. Improves circulation, drawing the blood, like I said, to your muscles and forcing your muscles to relax. But basically, like I said, if you have these separately or not at all, don't worry about it. It's not essential. It's just another form of recovery. The next one, again, not my favourite. I've left all my favourites to the start and my least favourites at the end. Sports massages. My first experience with sports massage was absolutely horrendous. I think it actually traumatized me slightly because it was so painful. there is a level and there is a certain level of pain that will come from this, but it's not supposed to be that painful. It's really not supposed to be painful that you're sweating and crying. But that was just my experience. But yeah, regular sports massages can help release tension you could be holding in your muscles, which will help them recover quicker and reduce fatigue. It also increases the muscle flow to your muscles, which will help them recover faster and help with inflammation. Now that I go to someone that I actually find does my sports massages really, really well, and they actually work so, so well, and I feel like I need them. Especially whenever your legs, particularly my legs, I would go for my legs, start to feel heavy, start to feel really puffy, and in particular my calves get really, really tight. They feel like I'm carrying around two rocks in my calf muscles whenever I know that I need to get a sports massage. So it's really good at draining all the inflammation out and just relaxing the muscles a wee bit more and just stretching them out. I would get it every 6 to 8 weeks, I would say, and probably will be needing it probably closer than that, like the closer I come up to a race or an event or something like that. But like every 6 to 8 weeks is just as good as that's what my sports massage therapist told me to get, and it works wonders. And it is painful, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's uncomfortable, but it's so good. So I really highly recommend finding someone who does good sports massages and sticking with them 6 to 8 weeks just to drain your muscles, drain your legs, drain your upper body, your back tension, your back that you be holding, your lower back as well, and your glutes and stuff like that. It just works an absolute charm. So yeah, those are all the forms of recovery that I use day to day, weekly, monthly, whatever it is. And so now it's your turn. Like I said, we're always going to be having something to flip it back on you so that you're actually doing something proactive with your week, alongside the training and stuff like that. So now I want you to pencil in some recovery to your week, whether that is booking a sports massage therapist, whether that is penciling in some time to go to a sauna or go to the beach and do a cold plunge, whether that is just setting aside 10 minutes before your session to do some mobility before a session starts, and even just taking a rest day. What I will say about rest days is also making them active. I do something called active rest days. I'll be taking a rest day, I'll not go to the gym, I'll not do a run, I'll not do anything like that. But what I will do is go for a walk and get a couple of steps in just to keep my legs ticking over and keep my body moving. Because whenever my body's not moving, it craves movement. So that's what I will say about rest days, is that pencil them in, but also pencil in something that's nice, but like a gentle walk or something like that, just to keep the legs ticking over. But yeah, like I said, pencil in some you time, because it definitely helps, and it definitely helps with recovery, and your body will thank you for it. Yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you find that useful, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.